Talo for Lover. My name's Alvina, and welcome to Sweet Inspiration. In today's episode, we are fortunate to have Matt Tuton, aka the Smiling Assassin, back in the chair. We covered so much in this episode, like what steps can you take to maintain your new lifestyle? Motivation. The different phases that I'm actually currently going through. What happens when Alvina goes on holiday? Some of the fears I had in releasing those early boxing videos. Technology, social media, and that highlight reel. But my favorite one of all is the new word I learned on this episode. Hippocampus. Let me say it again. Hippocampus. Yep. Listen all the way to the end, guys, because trust me, it'll make sense to you then. But for now, let's get straight into it.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for coming back.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. I'm really excited to catch up again for our next episode.
I know.
I had so much fun on our first episode.
It was really fun.
It was
good.
Actually really, really fun because I was so nervous.
I know, I could see.
You could hear it too, couldn't
see.
you? I'm sure you could all hear that. But it was a great episode the last time that you were with me, and I'm so glad that you can come in today and have another chat.
I know. I was looking forward to it.
I'm so glad you can come in today and have another chat because I learned so much in that first episode moving into this next one. Because we covered so much and a lot of it was, an introduction to what I went through in my early days of joining the gym. But today I just wanted to have a look at maintaining my kind of lifestyle as to where it is, because I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I am, for me currently, working on. Maintaining it is another massive step.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not looking for the next couple of years. I'm like, actually I'm going to live like this for the rest of my life. I don't know, every time I think about it and I think about it in the future, I'm like, that kind of scares me a little bit because someone like me gets so bored so easily, so I have to keep mixing things up, and sometimes I get a little scared where I'm like, I don't know if I
Is
can.
it going to...
Am I going to keep doing this?
Yeah. The interesting thing is when it comes to motivation, when people want to start, they're like super motivated, but motivation doesn't stay with you for the long haul. It only comes as like a set of waves at a beach. So you'll get your set of waves in and that'll be motivation, and then it'll be flat for a little bit. And then it's in those moments, that's where it's really crucial, because people can then fall off the bandwagon and then they're off to the side and then anything can happen. But if you're always trying to make your training interesting and fun and not do the same sort of stuff, that's when you're going to enjoy to go into the gym, because there's always going to be something different there. But if you're just doing the same thing because maybe you don't know what to do, you only know like a small part of it, then it's just like, do I really want to get up this early before going to work and do something that I'm not really enjoying? But if I had like something really fun for you to do, you would then wake up, the habits there, the routines there, you can maintain that for the long haul. And then it's not scary if you think that you may fall backwards or go off the pathway again.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I've been feeling at the moment. I'm trying to find ways to maintain the level of excitement that I had when I first started. I feel like I'm not pushing as hard as I did in the beginning, but that's only because at that time I needed to push that hard.
Yeah.
And so now moving into this new path where it is slowly becoming really part of my day-to-day, I'm still kind of seeking that little bit of emotion where it was like, because I was on fire for like a solid year.
Yeah.
And I'm still on fire, but my fire is different.
There's different phases, like for your first phase, you're going hard, you're learning, you're finding what really suits you, so you experiment with a few different things, you try one thing, you try another, and then now it's sort of like you're sort of channeling yourself into where you know what really works. And once you know what really works, then you can sort of cement yourself in for the long haul and trying not to get injured, trying to balance everything else that you have going on with your life. And like once you start looking for the long haul part of it, then you really start to set yourself up on that pathway. So you don't necessarily have like this, like, I need to change my life, because you've already gone through that. You've already gone through like, oh wow, my life, I used to be like this, and now I'm starting to become this different person. And that's you now. You don't need to necessarily have that change again, because you're on a pathway of, this is the new me, this is the healthier and happier me. And now the crucial part is just not letting any negative thing in your life creep back in and take you back to where you were. So you don't necessarily have this excitement to go to anything new, because you're you now. Like, this is it. But you just don't you want to have a solid barrier of the old lifestyle habits, and we don't want to let that get back in.
Exactly, because I know even just in these last couple of months, I mean, I went away a little bit on holiday, and we need to talk about holidays.
Holidays are a killer.
Can we not? I remember, I think when I first told you I was going on holiday, and I think I didn't understand at the time, but your reaction was, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm going on holiday.
I want this holiday, damn it. I want the holiday.
I'm going.
You're going to stay here. No holidays.
No holidays, but I really want to get into that, because back then when I first started, and, because I was like, I need a break, blah, 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 blah. But when I came back from holidays, it took me weeks to click back into my routine. I just could not believe how long it took. Actually, not weeks, it actually took months. And even though when I came back, I was doing my normal routine, but it just wasn't the same. And I had to build back up to where I was. Like, what is that all about? Like, I didn't understand it. And that's why this year, when I started doing my holidays, I'm like, 3 days, 4 days. I am not doing anything more than a week. So even though it took a week to get to the country that I was going to, I'm like, I am coming back after that. I refuse to go on long holidays. That's something I learned. What is that all about?
It can be from a few different things. Like one of the things is when you go away, you're having so much fun when you're away. And then if you're coming back to all your responsibilities and commitments, and you can be in this like this fog of, I really want to be just having fun right now. And then it's hard to break that emotional connection with the two. So you might have been training still pretty hard, but just everything that, like, it might be a long time before you get to go away again, and that can be a little bit upsetting for some people. So there's that component of it. The other side as well is usually when people go away, especially for a long time, like 3 weeks is a long time. If you're not training as much, you may be eating bad food. There could be some drinks involved in there. It could be a little some happening over there. But when you then come back, you're going to feel like super sluggish. You're going to feel tired. You may still crave some of the bad food that you were eating, so it's hard to then go back onto like a super, maybe not like a super strict diet, but like getting back into the healthier foods. So and that can take some time, especially if that was your first encounter of it. Then it's just like, whoa, what's happening? But the more you do that, the more you can sort of separate it and still get in really good training days when you're away. Maybe not, like, you can still eat the bad food when you're away. That's not a bad thing, but as soon as you come back, having the mentality of, I need to jump straight back into my routine like I was doing before, and then you can get that balance back into your life a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah, it took me a while to get back into routine.
And I think that's key. Like you said, you still have an attachment to that holiday, like that fun time. You're enjoying yourself. You don't really have responsibilities over there. You can sort of close that door, but then when you come back in, it's just like, all right, I need to set my schedule again. I need to get back into routine. I got things that people that depend on me to do certain things, and it can just be coming back into like just like a washing machine of all these different things that are happening.
It is. It's always like most holidays. It's like back to reality.
Yeah.
But I like the reality that I'm living in. It's not like I don't enjoy it, because this is probably the best time that I've in my life that I'm having right now. I love learning the things that I've learned so far, especially in terms of boxing, because it's just, my confidence has just shot up so much. Because in the early days when I started, it was getting over that fear of looking like an idiot, because I know it's hard for me to, when I had first started, it was a mindset shift for me to post up those videos, because I know that when people look at it, they were like, what is she do? Because my technique is so, so baby, I've just started.
I think a lot of people get scared by that.
They get scared by that. No, and that was what I was like, you know what? Just do it, Vina, because this is good for you to learn that, yes, your arms drop, you don't have a great technique, but this will motivate you to keep trying. And that's why I started posting them up in the early days.
So many people are scared of feedback.
Oh, gosh.
Feedback is like, they don't want to be told that they're doing something wrong or where to improve. And I think that's a really interesting thing, like to be worried about posting something, because, mind you, people will say mean things because they want to say mean things, but I think it's a good thing to put yourself out there like that. And for you, you put yourself out there to step into the gym, you then put yourself out there to put the videos up, and people listening to this, if they're in the same shoes as you and they're worried and they're like, oh, people are going to look at me in the gym and I don't want to get judged or anything like that, just know that that's not a bad thing, that you can go in there and build your confidence, and just, if you've been for 10, 20, 30 years a certain way, you can change into this different person and have the confidence and have this ability to change your life in such a positive way.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know, when I started doing that, it actually it was to build up my confidence, because as I started to post them, I started to, yes, and I got feedback. And you know what? I'm used to the feedback now. But it also gave me a lot more, self-belief to just keep going.
Yep.
And that's only through these videos that I posted. I was actually really nervous when you were posting the videos up on your Instagram. I don't think I ever told you this. And that's because at that stage, number one, I'm still learning, so obviously I'm never going to hit your face. But my technique, and not only that, your crowd obviously is the gym people. Like you've got your super fit people and your team around you. They're going to see me who has just baby skills. Like, I was actually very, very nervous when you posted that up, because I never said that to you, but I was, because they're going to be looking at me, and for someone who is still dealing with her body issues, I'm like, and the biggest thing that I hate is my arms. Like, I've always had issues with my arms, and I was just like, no. So I purposely wore singlets, just something to break that barrier, to let go of that stuff and go, you have to do it this way, Vina, because you have to learn to be okay with that stuff, and be okay with the feedback, and be okay that yes, you are learning, but.
And you were so worried about that, and I had not one bad comment about the videos. I had so many people coming up to me how much they enjoyed, even though they were only short videos, they enjoyed watching them. They were just like, man, you guys look like you're having so much fun. And it's like they wanted to be part of the fun, it's a really cool thing. And
that's amazing though, because I look back to my mindset back then, to where I almost didn't post it because I was afraid.
Yep.
I was like, oh no, you know what, people are going to look at it, and I'm still kind of iffy the way I look. And
could you imagine if you didn't?
Yeah. That's the scary part.
So many people out there that have been affected by it in a positive way wouldn't have gotten that, and for you to have that courage to be like, you know what, I'm going to do it, and to do it, and then that ripple effect onto other people, and they see that, it's like, wow, I want to do that, and maybe they're getting bored with their routine in the gym, like, that boxing thing looks pretty cool, and maybe they go and do a little bit of research and be like, oh, what can I do to change up my routine? They might not go to like a boxing place or anything like that, but they might incorporate some other elements into their workout that was like getting a little bit boring for them, and it excites them, and then they go to do that, and just simply from you posting that video.
It was, and when I think about it now, I'm like, yay, Vina. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Because the mindset leading up to it was like, nah, it's the fear. And it was the fear of, what are people going to think about it, or what do they think about what I look like? And that's just the battles that I go through personally. But when I overcame that fear, and I was like, yeah, no, do it, yay, post it. And then I just kept posting things from there, because the more I posted, the more I started to grow and actually just be okay with myself. And that's why fear is something that had always plagued me, but I'm starting to really recognize that in some things, yes, I won't post. I was like, no, Vina, you need to work on that one. But then others, I'm like, no, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show the rawness of my journey, because this whole journey and this whole process is very raw. Some of the people keep saying to me, geez, Alvina, you're very open about some of the, your experiences and your journeys, and it's, how do you get so much confidence to be able to talk about yourself in such a way that exposes a lot of you? And I'm like, well, and it's funny though, because I am actually a very private person. When people are like, no, you're not. I was like, I am actually. So I will show you a certain layer, and then that's as much as it will get. But the layer that I'm showing is naturally just flowing out of me, which is weird, because it's a part of me that knows that if I say this and not fear it, I'm sure I just want somebody else to capture it, and then I want it to help them. I want them to know that, the experiences that I'm going through will help me. It might help somebody down the track, or it could help someone on the other side of the ocean.
Those layers are super, super crucial to share.
Yeah.
Because in a world where we have Instagram, where a majority of the people will show like, it's like a highlight reel. Like, this is a highlight reel. Like, they don't show like the grind of it all, or how you're feeling emotionally, where people see the highlight reel and be like, oh, that person's achieving really well, but they're then working on themselves with all these layers. But if you're expressing yourself and being like, you know what, today was a hard day, and then that can relate to other people. So then they can be like, well, if that person's having a hard day and I'm having a hard day, but they're also enjoying other elements of their life, then okay, they're still achieving what they want to achieve. How can I get from my unhappy days and not let that cloud me for too long, and to be able to jump onto something really good? Because if they're only seeing like all these people achieving really cool things, and they're seeing the highlight reel and yay, everything's amazing, but then they're like, well, I'm going through some crap at the minute. Why am I going through crap?
Different?
And they're not, yeah. But if you can show elements of that, and like you're doing, and you have the courage to do that, then they can relate a bit more, and then that starts their transformation as well. And then you can be such an influential person in people's lives on a more real level. And I think that's key.
I think that's key. I think it's real level, because we're just not living in a place of realness. We're living in a world of filters.
Yep.
Facebook filters and life filters, really. When everything is on the go, people are seeking for realness.
Yep.
I was reading something about, people just seeking the content on their social media seems to get a lot more response when people are real.
Yeah.
I've actually never been much on social media. But in order for me to be able to get some sort of online presence, I had to start, being on social media. So what I've noticed is I get a lot more response when I put the reality of how I'm feeling in my posts. I get a lot more engagement.
You're being more real.
Well, I'm being more real.
Yep.
And the people that actually respond back to it, because I'm not interested in how many people I have in terms of friends on the page, or in terms of likes on the page. It's the actual engagement of people that I'm trying to seek, because I'd rather the 10 that engage with me than the 100 people who just click the like and don't. And I think because you're in a world now where it is all about how many friends you have on Facebook and how many likes you can get per post, there's going to be a new line of us where we're like, well, no, not really. I don't really care about that. I just want to actually engage with somebody in terms of being able to have an actual connection with them. And I think that's where I'm coming in, which is why I'm so raw and real at times with what I'm sharing with people. Because if I'm going to be real with you, then you can be real with me. And if people want to be able to share what they're going through, you've got to have that door open.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So for me to have this door open.
It's like a trust. It's
well,
like
it is a trust thing.
Yeah.
It is a trust thing, but it's a trust thing on a bigger scale. It's like that there was a trust between all of us to be able to engage in conversation through social media, and that's what I'm actually trying to learn a lot more about, and that's what I'm actually trying to aim for.
Yeah.
Not so much as in, I'm not really interested in how many people are on the page. I'm rather interested in the engagement with them. So I've figured out when I do start posting real posts about how I'm feeling or what I've achieved, then I get like a ton of comments and a ton of people responding back, and that's what I'd rather, that's what I like. But if I'm posting other stuff, they're not really interested in it.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like a bad thing as well. Like if you're like going through a bad thing and you post that and this is raw and this is the real me, that's one thing. Another thing to that is like you can be like super, super happy and post like these really cool things on the day-to-day life, and that's still real.
Oh, that's the real, yeah.
If you're a positive person, like constantly, and like a bad thing happens, but you're able to change that mindset and not let that get you down, and you can just keep going and be this very happy person, then I think that's cool as well.
Yeah.
Is that going to be everybody? There's probably only a small percentage of people that can literally just be like, those people where every time you meet them, they just always seem to have energy.
Yeah.
There's just always energy there. They're
Energizer
always
bunnies, I call them.
Yeah, but they don't even have to be like buzzing. They can just be like just super positive in most situations, and that's also a good thing to have in your life as well. That doesn't mean that necessarily having like negative things happen to them, or maybe negative things are happening to them, and they're not showing you, but they're able to turn that into something good and just always be on the ball and have that influence on you and to be able to pick you up as well.
We live in this fast environment, and this is the time now where technology rules, data rules.
Yep.
I cannot believe how much data rules in this time that we're in. Like, it's an exciting place to be in, I think, because
I think it's a good thing.
It
I
is.
really do.
Well, we have to move. Like, geez, if we're still in the same place, 100 years ago, then we haven't evolved as humans. But it is scary though, because we're moving into the place of like virtual and augmented reality, and I actually don't mind that stuff at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I'm learning about advances in technology with gym work. I mean, what is new in there? What kind of? I mean, there's so much you can do to a treadmill. I mean,
there's some really good things out there. Like there's so much, but what I really like is the way that you can track yourself now.
Yeah.
Like tracking yourself is like improving so much, and you can be like very, very specific and very realistic with your goals as well by like all the gadgets in your watch, or even the treadmills now. You can make an account and you can swipe yourself in and go on a treadmill at the gym, and all your stats are recorded, so you can be very detailed with your programming and how you're going to improve in the future, or even little things like if you're having like a really bad week, you can sort of see that, like when you have a bad week at work, or your sleeping patterns are down, or maybe you're more stressed and then your training goes down, you can see when you're happier, you train better, and it's all right there in front of you. It's some really cool stuff.
It is, because, and it actually does help, because I use, MyFitnessPal app. When I could see back what I ate and then how much of it I ate through the app, it was like, oh damn, it was like, oh, and that's why this happens for here, and here. And there's so many out there, so many new little gadgets that I want to have a play with. So if you guys want to sponsor, feel free to send it through. I'm not going to say no.
I definitely wouldn't.
I wouldn't say no. If Apple want to sponsor me, just some, watch or Fitbit or whatever.
You know what's interesting about MyFitnessPal and what you did was that when you type it in there, you actually see how many calories something is. That's 100% like right in your face. Like you can see it. So if you eat something bad and you don't type it in there, you're like, oh, it's not that bad, and you don't really know. But when you actually see, you're like, oh wow, that's actually pretty bad for me. And you're going to constantly learn with putting in, like you can even sit there and just type in all different foods or scan foods now and see like how good it is, how bad it is, and you're actually learning, and you're going to set yourself up for the future. I was talking to a lady not that long ago who's doing more of a I wouldn't call it a cleanse, but it's like the shake sort of program. I won't say what exactly what it was, but it was like more about the shake side of it. And that's all well and good, and you can lose a bit of weight there. Majority of the people tend to put that weight back on after doing that program, but I think in that, you're not really learning. Like, there's no learning part to it. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to have this shake and blah, 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 and you don't actually learn about calories and the food, and I think that is super, super important, and the technology that's out there is helping us learn more about it, so then we have that longevity and then we don't fall back into old pathways.
It is, because I'm really grateful for that app, and I know there's because for someone new like me who has never really looked at her food, or to be honest actually not really know much about food in terms of calorie intake, fat intake, I learnt a lot because it helped change my mindset with the foods that I thought were healthy. Because I'd be standing there scanning every single thing, and and I'd see this, healthy, 99% fat-free, and I'd scan it, and it was just like, you're kidding me! It's like high in fat, and it's high in calories, and
all sorts.
It's all sorts. And I had to learn that even though the package does say, whatever it is the package is going to say to try and get you to buy it, it really isn't that when you actually look at the actually small fine print of the ingredients in it. Because I never used to look at that stuff.
Yeah.
Why would I? Because I would just eat whatever I want to eat, no matter what it is, because it tastes good. So I'm going to eat it. But when you really are controlling what you eat, I had to relearn a lot of things that, even though it does say 99% fat free, it's not really.
And some people don't even, before you didn't know how to read it. Some it's a very there's simple methods to learn that super, super quick, so but when you're in that state before, when you weren't looking after yourself, you probably didn't want to know anyway, because if it's in your face and you're eating something bad and it says it right there, like, oh, you're eating bad, it makes you feel bad when you're doing it. And majority of the people, they want to almost suppress all of that emotional side and like, oh, I don't really care that it's bad. Like, they don't know it's bad. They tell themselves it's not bad, and that can be very toxic. But it's when you do start to learn about it, you do start to change. That learning part will be there forever.
It is, and that's it. That learning part will be in there forever, because now, even with everything that I look at, or if I don't even, because I don't use the app much anymore, because I can actually now pick, okay, so I know that this is in the health food section and it does say this, but I know that it's high in this particular thing, so I'll stay away from that, and then I just move over to the next one. And it taught me a lot. It taught me really on just to make sure that the food that you do eat is the right one for my calorie intake, because that's how I am at the moment. That's how I'm managing to track it, and that's really cool, because I was thinking, geez, how the hell did people do this back in the day? Like, how did you do it back in the day? You actually just probably had to read the back of the fine print on them, or so.
There used to be this book. I had to go through, like,
you're kidding.
Yeah, go through, check it all, write it all down.
Yeah,
it's a lot longer.
It's a lot longer. That's like what is it? What do they used to call it? Refidex.
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone know what a Refidex is? No. So
when I was younger, I used to sit in the back, and we had it in the back sleeve of and I used to just, weird, I don't know, but I used to just pull it out. And I think that's why I'm so good at navigating, because I used to go through and sort of see roads, and I'd be like the little dot, I'd put my finger there now these days, and I'd just be like, oh yeah, we're going past that, and we're going through, and just sit there and open it up, but it was very difficult to go through, because then you'd hit the edge of the page, and then typically you would think that would be on the next page.
Yes.
But it's not.
No.
And then you're frantically going through. It's almost like the internet stalling these days, and the blue dot doesn't know where it's going, and I'll be trying to find a page, and all right, now we're here, guys, it's all good.
Refresh.
The blue dot's back on. We're safe. We don't need to ask for directions.
I never understood that. I
Yeah.
never understood on those Refidex
It's
books.
weird. Some of them are weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so to get from point A to point B, I need to go to page 344, then 222,
And then back to page 9.
and then back to page 9.
It's weird.
To get us to 8.
Yeah. It's so weird.
So you're good at navigating, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good.
Oh gosh! All right, next time I get lost, I'll be calling you.
I know.
I have no sense of direction.
You know what's interesting is like I'm gonna claim that I have a large hippocampus, and the hippocampus is a part in your brain, and taxi drivers
Yeah.
have, like the old school taxi drivers have. There's studies out there that it's like a part of it. It's like this navigation, that they're really good at remembering different things. And the taxi drivers, where they didn't have the GPS, they had to remember everything.
Yeah, well,
so
they wanted to.
yeah, so you could jump into the car, and then they would be like, all right, I need to go to this street, and they wouldn't even have the Refidex there. They'd just be like, yep, boom, 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 boom. They remember it all. And this study was on the taxi drivers in London, and it's like hectic, because everything there. And they sat one fella down, and he could like pretty much draw the whole thing, remember the names and stuff like that. So
You're kidding me.
yeah, it was pretty full on. So I like to claim that I have a large hippocampus than the normal person.
So my reply would be, and I don't have a large hippocampus. Because I don't, really. I am one of those who I'm not very good at navigating. Nobody looks to me for directions.
I was talking to someone last night, and they said that their lives were just in this cruise control for the last, I think,
Cruise control.
yeah, for the last 10 to 15 years. And
I like that.
at the moment, this individual is in this environment where it's like super uncomfortable and challenging, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm so far out of that comfort zone, that cruise control element of my life. But now it's just like things are starting to happen for them, and little opportunities are starting to happen. And I think that is super crucial. And when you are going through like that, when you take yourself from that that comfort zone, that unhappy, like, oh, I'm just going to let my life sort of go along and
fly under the radar.
yeah, and then that's when it really starts, and it can be scary. It can be super scary, and that's the reason why it's the uncomfort zone. It can be super scary, but when you start to live in that becomes comfortable for you, and then you like start to seek something else, and then you have this like follow-on effect, and it's very powerful.
This whole journey has been living out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it gets easier and easier and easier. And then, the layers upon the new comfort zones that I need to break pop up, and like, okay, deal with that.
Yeah.
And it is just a constant. But if I was to choose between living out of my comfort zone and sitting back in that cruise control, I will take that breaking the comfort zone.
But it's
all
only
the way through.
It's only because you've learnt skills now
Yeah.
to be able to challenge yourself in a way to, now that this is your comfort zone, you're like, you know what, I've already done it. I know what to do. And then you can put yourself into the next level, and it can be super scary at that level. But because you've already had previous success, you have more confidence there. The people that are like in that cruise control mode at the moment, and it's like, that scary zone that Alvina's talking about, I don't think I have the skills to get there. And to be honest, they're right. They need to seek those skills. They need to find someone that can take them out of that cruise control, that press that off button. And then once they find that person and take that first step, like what you did a year ago, then they can start to achieve some little goals. And then once you start achieving things, you build your confidence up, and then that area becomes comfortable, and you've achieved so much already. And then whatever happens to me, whatever negative thing happens to me, or whatever new challenges, I know I can do it because I've already done it.
I've already done it.
I've already
conquered them. I already know. This is something that I've tackled, and it is something that I've actually overcome.
Exactly.
That's the best place to be at, though. I'm actually, that word cruise control is just ringing in my ears right now. And that's only because that's how I felt I have lived my life up until June of 2017. It is cruise control, because I've always been in that mode of cruise control. I'm such a very relaxed person. Like, I mean, I've never been competitive, and I've never been career driven in the early days. Like, I'd be very much going with the flow, Vina. I've always kind of been like that. It's kind of it's been my personality to always like just ride this wave. And if I was just to keep riding it, I'd ride it all the way until I die.
Yeah. Which
a
lot of people do.
Well, that's what I mean though. Like, I mean, I've never been ambitious to chase after anything. I've always had talents and skills, but I've never taken them anywhere. And that would have to do with courage. It had to do with self-confidence. Living in a life of cruise control to life where, now I'm alive, I'm awake, to now, what do I do from here? How do I keep this going? I'm really excited to continue to learn on this journey. I'm excited for what doors may open, what doors may close, and slam shut in my face. Vina, don't do that again, please. No, please don't do that again. Don't do it again. But that's what it's like on this journey, and that's what it's like when you want to strive to become a healthier, happier person, because when your mental health is good, it opens so much more than what you thought, and it takes you out of that cruise control.
Yeah.
Don't stay in that cruise control, people. If you feel like that is your actual life, if that's actually triggered you the way it has, that word has triggered me, Matt. That's like...
Powerful stuff. Powerful.
Like, my goodness, it's like slaves. Because that's what it feels like. When I visually look at these words back then in my life, that's what it's like. That's what it used to be. But I'm awake now.
Yep.
I'm awake now. And I'm excited to share with you on this journey all these different moments that I have. So you may not have the same moments, to experience, but I'm going to share with you mine. So, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's time to change. If you're listening, it's time to change.
It is time to change. Get out of that cruise control now, and come with me.
Yeah.